Today is a Monday, November the 30th. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. And believe it or not, I literally just walked back in the door. I went to the grocery store, and usually I start recording a little bit earlier. Luckily, I'm not making chicken tonight. I'm actually making some vegetarian or vegan hot dogs, which they are so good. What are the name of those things? I had mentioned them on the show before because I was talking to my mother about it. I think Light Life or Life Light or something. And they taste just like real hot dogs. It's kind of scary, but they're not actual meat. So yeah. Or is it Simply Life? Simply Light? It's something. It's at Whole Foods or Amazon Fresh, whatever. Okay. So I'm making those, so that only takes like 2 minutes to do. So I don't have to worry about that. And it feels warm in here for some reason. Maybe because I've been moving around and doing stuff. But yeah, there's always a story to something when it comes to my life. So let me go ahead and get started. For those who have been watching my daily thoughts or either the Keeping It Real with KC show on the weekend, you know that I'm team PlayStation. I never made any, I never tried to hide that. So I've always been honest. I'm team PlayStation. And I have a PS4. However, the Xbox Series X was my first choice because they were saying, oh, our Xbox Series X will be backwards compatible with all the games. And I knew that when they did the backwards compatibility, I think it was with Xbox One or Xbox 360 or whatever, that some games were backwards compatible and some weren't. But the hype that came up where they're like, hey, this system can do this, it can do that, and it's going to be able to play all the Xbox, the original, it'll be able to go all the way back to the original Xbox games. I'm like, oh, good. Then I'm on board. And then also on paper, it's the more powerful console anyway. And some people, everyone's giving their own reviews about it. Some people are saying that some games play better on the PS5 than on the Xbox Series X. I think they said Devil May Cry plays better and then another game plays better and whatnot. Obviously, the controller's better and stuff. But the game system overall, still the more powerful one is the Xbox Series X game system. And as I said before, I believe that Xbox Series X will outsell PlayStation PS5 over time. Meaning once they get some more games with it and once they can show what the system can really do, I believe it will catch on more. I think Xbox, I don't want to call it a slow burn because it's hard to get one. If you go online anywhere right now, you're more than likely not going to get an Xbox Series X console or Xbox Series S. Just like you're not going to get a PS5 right now. Unless you're just staying on it. But when I first heard about the Xbox Series X, before all of this started, my main thing was Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which, side note, Michael B. Jordan, his hotness just went up even higher now for me because he is a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 fan. I did not know that. He mentioned it on his Instagram and said it would be nice if the PS5 had Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So, yeah, his hotness just went up even higher. But I digress. So, I said from jump, Xbox Series X is my first choice because it's backwards compatible. If not for that, I would have focused all my attention on PS5, which I planned on getting both of, well, I don't really want to say that. That might be reaching. If it wasn't backwards compatible, I'm not saying that I would not have bought an Xbox Series X in addition to the PS5 if I got the PS5 first. but I would have waited probably like a year and a half, maybe something like that. All right. So I'm just like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's why I'm getting Xbox Series X, because I have the original Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for the Xbox, the original Xbox. I have the disc, which is pretty much a collector's item now. And it's in mint condition or close to mint condition. So, and I have other X. I have Ninja Gaiden or Gaiden, like some people say. And I have, what else do I have on Xbox, the original Xbox? X-Men Legends Part 1 and 2. And then I have something else. I can't fully see it for him. And then I have a golf game, which it came with the system. But yeah, so I have some Xbox games. So I go ahead and I luck up. And this is what I was talking about over the weekend. This is what happened. So now I can go into the story. And I have to tell this quick because A, I don't have much battery. And B, I don't have much time because I still want to have a little bit of me time when I eat and whatnot. So I went online a week ago because today's Monday. So yeah, I went online a week ago, Monday, last week. And when Best Buy did their reload or restock, whatever you want to call it, of systems for PS5, that's what everybody was talking about, the PS5. They're like, oh, Best Buy is going to restock their PS5s. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm on Best Buy's website trying to get the PS5. And of course, it'll show like the open box thing, but it's not available in my area. Or it'll be there, but you can't get to it in time and yada, 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 and all that stuff. And in the midst of trying to get this happened when I woke up at 3, I think it was it 3 in the morning? You know what? It couldn't have been Monday because I worked on Monday. It had to be on Sunday. It had to be Saturday or Sunday. Anyways, so yeah, it was Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday when they did the restock. Not this Saturday, but the Saturday before, the one that passed. So I woke up at 3 in the morning. And while everyone was trying to get the PS5, I tried for like maybe 3 minutes. And then something said to me, if they received a shipment of PS5s, why wouldn't they receive a shipment of Xbox Series X's? So something was just like, go ahead and give it a try. So I went ahead, tried it, couldn't get in. I was like, okay, figures. Tried it again, couldn't get in. I was like, okay, figures. And then I tried it like a few more times, and then all of a sudden, it came up, and I got it in my cart. I was like, uh-oh, is it serious? Is it serious? What's going on? What's happening? So then I added, the little accidental plan, because after my little incident with my Xbox 360, Best Buy has the best accidental plan, in my opinion. So I added accidental plan. Then they sent an email because they sent a verification code where you had to verify and do all this stuff. Did that. Then I charged it, but the thing declined my credit card because my credit card company was like, is this you? And then I had to reply back to my credit card company and say, yeah, it's me. And then got the notification back, okay, go ahead and try to charge again. I'm like, if I miss this thing because of this, I am going to scream. So then I tried it again. It went through. All right. So it's done. Done deal. Said it's going to be ready on Friday. Friday that just passed. So that was hold on. I'm right near my computer. So that was on the 27th. Yeah. So Friday was the 27th. So they're like, it'll be ready on Friday. I'm like, cool. So Friday comes and I'm like, and mind you, I was ready to tell you guys that I had already got it back on Monday. I was going to do that on my show during my daily thought like I'm doing now. But I was just like, let me wait. Just like I mentioned over week, let me wait. So Friday gets here. Black Friday gets here. And I'm looking, I'm like, they're saying they still preparing the order. It's close to 4 o'clock. What's really going on? So then, as soon as I said that, I get an email from Best Buy. Best Buy says to me in the email, we're having trouble fulfilling your order. I was like, oh man, are you kidding me? So then they're like, will the estimated, no, they said, if we don't fulfill your order by December the 4th, we'll go ahead and just cancel it. I was like, so we went from November the 27th to possibly December the 4th. But if you don't get it filled by December the 4th, you're going to cancel it. Okay. So then Saturday comes around, November 28th. And I'm like, well, just let me check again. So I check again. Now, remember I told you, they said it would be filled by December the 4th. Now the date has changed that, well, if we don't fill it by December 25th, then we'll go ahead and cancel your order. I'm like, wait a minute. We went from November the 27th to December the 4th, and now we have went to December the 25th as a possibility. And if you don't get it done by the 25th, you're going to cancel the order. Gotcha. And I was like, should I just cancel this and just continue my hunt and, see what happens? Or let me just let it stay on the stove and just look while it's on the stove simmering and do that. I was like, I'm just gonna let it stay on the stove. I'm not gonna cancel. I'm gonna ride it on out. Mind you, I've already bought games and stuff. I've already bought games because I pre-ordered Cyberpunk. I bought a controller. I bought what else did I buy? I bought Yakuza Like a Dragon, and then I bought Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, and I bought something else. Avengers. That's what I bought, and I bought Avengers. So I bought all these games, and then I bought 2 more because I bought Dead or Alive 6, and some of these are older games, but I just like them. And I bought Samurai Showdown recently too, which, they're on the way. But, because I love fighting games. But the number 1 fighting game will always be, and it's never up for debate, the number 1 fighting game will always be Marvel vs. Capcom 2, period. It's not up for discussion. Now, back to the story. So, on the 28th, on Saturday, I'm starting to see them saying, well, we'll try to get it to you by December 25th. And I'm just like, dude. All right. So I wake up on November the 29th. But before I woke up, I had a dream. I told you guys I have premonitions sometimes where I see things before they happen. Sometimes premonitions come to me in dreams where I see actual things, or they come to me in voices. Like a voice will tell me something, and then whatever that voice tells me, it comes to pass. Okay, so right before I woke up from my dream, the dream that I had on Sunday, November the 29th, was me waking up to an email from Best Buy saying, your package is ready. I'm not making this up. I promise you I'm not making this up. In my dream, it said, your package is ready. I was like, After I woke up, I was like, that's strange. I had a dream saying that my package was ready. It's like, let me log into my Best Buy account right quick. So I log into the Best Buy account, and this is like maybe around close to 8 a.m. Probably 7 something. Because I usually get up 6-ish on the weekends, 7-ish. So 7 something. Nothing there. There were no updates. As soon as I log out of my Best Buy account, about 10 minutes later, I get an email from Best Buy saying, your package is ready for pickup. I can't make this up. I can't make it up. So, I have it. All right, just want to show you box. Obviously, it's not in here. But yeah, I just pulled out the box so you can see it. For those who are listening to the podcast, I held up the box that it came in. Okay. Now, what I do, I have a lot of stuff connected to the internet. A whole lot of things. So, and for people who are into systems, fast systems, if you rely on the internet, it doesn't matter how fast your system is. If your internet bandwidth is spread thin, things will take forever. So, I was setting up the Xbox. All right. I had to figure out how to do some stuff with my TV because I still, to this day, I've had my TV for like 3 years and I still don't know I got nothing. All what it does. But that's whatever. I need to take a sip of my tea. Hold on. Ooh, that's good. All right. So, I'm in the process of setting it up. My complaint with Microsoft is that to set up this, I was about to cuss, I had to catch myself. To set up this system, you have to do it through your mobile phone. All right. So I had to download the app, put the thing on my phone, type in the code. Code wasn't going through. I'm like, okay, all right. All right, Creflo. Okay. Code wasn't going through. I said, and it's like, please try again. So I did thing, punched in what I saw on the screen. Code wasn't going through. Whew. I have the system sitting in front of me. I have my TV with Xbox in front of me and this code. I was like, please tell me they did not design this game system where you cannot set it up without going through a mobile phone. So I tried again. Code didn't go through. So then it said in the upper part of the phone, in red letters or something, it said, we're having trouble setting up your system. Use a controller. I was like, okay, I can do that. I got that. So I set up my controller. I set it up through my controller. I had to use one of my Microsoft accounts, which, yeah, I'm more of a plug and play type person. That's what in this memo to Sony and Microsoft, for future reference, do a system that's plug and play. Do a system where if you have a physical disc, all you have to do is plug that system in, put the disc in the system, and play the game. That's it. If you want to add all the profiles and everything else and the bells and whistles and all of that other stuff, more power to you. Me personally, I don't care about all that. I don't. So I like plug and play. That's all I want. So I get everything set up my email address, all that stuff. And then also I did the major, like the security one. I did the higher security where everything locked down, where you can't even turn on the damn system unless you know all the passwords and codes and thumbprints and everything else. I said, we got to lock it down. So fine, we'll do that. Okay. Went through all that, set all that stuff up. Then I'm like, let me go ahead and test out my Mortal Kombat because my girl is back on there. Because Cinder wasn't on Mortal Kombat 10, or X as they like to call it. So, which I still don't know why Cinder wasn't on Mortal Kombat X. I mean, they had Katana, which I always use Katana. But Cinder's my girl too. So I was like, all right, Cinder's on this one. Let me go ahead and play this. I stick in the disc. Mind you, the system itself moves snap of a finger. Like that. System itself, snap of a finger. My download? Okay. The plan I'm on, I get, 300 megs or whatever, which is pretty decent. Because my internet is spread so thin through tons of devices and things like that, I was watching the download. It was averaging between 20 megs and about 40 megs. All the stuff that I had to download for Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath took about almost 2 hours with all the downloads and updates just for that game. I hadn't got to anything else yet. And I'm like, okay, we're going to charge it to the game and just, it is what it is. All right. So I played Mortal Kombat 11. So far, I'm not that impressed. I like Mortal Kombat X better, but that's just me. Maybe as time goes on, it'll grow on me. But Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 10, whatever you want to call it this week, I like that one better. So I'm playing Mortal Kombat 11, using Katana, doing my thing with the fans. But yeah, I feel like I really didn't miss anything when I didn't buy it on PS4 or whatever system it came out on. So yeah, but I digress. So after that's done, and really that was more of a test is what it was, just to see how it rides on the system. Because I'm like, okay, Mortal Kombat X, it plays fine, everything took forever to download it, but it's all right. Now we can get to the main reason why I bought the Xbox Series X. Why I gave this console preference over the PS5. And that's because it's backwards compatible. I knew in my heart of hearts that I didn't need to look up anything because this system is so powerful. It's backwards compatible. It's going to be good. I'm seeing stuff on YouTube that people have somehow, I was about to say a word, but I can't say that word, somehow rigged it. But for those black people who may be watching this, you know what I was about to say. But they managed to rig the Xbox Series X to play Nintendo GameCube games. So I'm like, if it's that much of a monster, if it can play games that aren't even Xbox games, I'm good. All right, let's roll. I pick up Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And I'm ready. I'm ready to get Morgan. I'm ready to get Spider-Man. And I'm ready to get Akuma. And light some people up. So, hold on, my other phone going off. I got like 3 of them. Okay. All right, so back to this. So then I take the disc and put it in. And I'm like, all right, because you know the Marvel Capcom 2 music, doom doom, doom doom, doom doom. You know, I'm ready. Dun, 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 dun. You know, I'm ready. I get an error message on my TV that says, this disc is not backwards compatible. Please visit xbox.backwardscompatible.com. I said, wait a minute, hold on now. Somebody hold my mule. This can't be happening. I know I didn't just drop close to almost a G on this. And it ain't even about the money, but still. To get this message. Because again, like I said, the only reason that this got first preference is because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 backwards compatible to the original Xbox games. I was like, no, that's got to be a mistake. So I took it out. I was like, you know what? Let me put in Ninja Gaiden. Because I was like, that's got to be. It's going to read that one. Stuck it in. This disc is not compatible. Please visit xbox.com for... I'm like, no, they playing with me. They are really playing with me right now. Hold on. Let me take X-Men Legends and see what the deal is with that. I stick that one in. get the same message. None of my original Xbox games work on the Series X. And then I sat and I was just like, what's really going on? And I was on the edge of taking that system back. Hadn't had this system, I was about to cuss. Okay, let me pull it back. Hadn't had this system for 72 hours. Not even that. Really 24 hours in that moment. And I was like, should I just go ahead and take all this stuff back to Best Buy and tell them you can have the system? Or should I try and just flip it on some website? Because if I can clear an extra 200, because they selling it for double what it is anyway. If they selling it for $8, I could probably sell it for $650. And well, not $650 because I paid $5 for it. So what? Nah. So I sell for $750. Now I have to sell it for $8 to go ahead and make a profit because they selling it for $8. No, it might be going for $1,000 right now still. It might still be going for $1,000 on the scalpers market. Regardless, I was thinking about just flipping it and doing that. But my spirit was talking to me. And my spirit said, don't do anything harsh. Don't do anything harsh. And also I thought about my PS4 because I've had it for so long. And for those who know about the PS4, you know that once you have it for a while, that fan, it sounds like a 787 after a while. Like somebody, like you about ready to clear someone for takeoff. And I'm just like, you know what? I have a new game system and but what really sealed the deal on me keeping this? And I'm already 30 minutes in. I did not mean for this to happen. What sealed the deal on me keeping this was I watched a movie. It was called Dare to Dream, The Secret, Dare to Dream. This is with Katie Holmes and Josh Lucas. And sometimes you need a refresher course because I know about the laws of attraction, the law of attraction. I know about positive thinking. I know about how your thoughts are magnets and it brings things to you. And I even talk about it. Obviously, I've talked about it on my daily thoughts or during the Keeping It Real with KC show. I've talked about it over my 100+ episodes of this podcast. Sometimes we need a refresher. And that's what that was. Because I wasn't about to watch it. I was about to watch Boys Over Flowers, which is one of my favorite K-dramas. If you haven't seen Boys Over Flowers, gotta watch it. Love it, love it, love it. But I digress. I was about to watch Boys Over Flowers and watch some more episodes because I'm about at the end because it's only 25 episodes. And I'm on episode 21. So I was just like, or at that time, episode 20. So I was like, okay, should I watch another Boys Over Flowers episode or should I watch The Secret, Dare to Dream movie? I was like, you know what? Something in my spirit kept telling me, watch this movie. Watch the movie. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch the movie. So after I finished watching the movie, I started thinking. And I remembered that when I first heard about the Xbox Series X and my excitement for it being backwards compatible and my excitement for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and that at the time, I'm thinking, oh, I'm finally going to get to play this amazing game again. I want this system so bad. I want it so bad. And I thought about, damn, after all this happened with it not working, something made me think after watching this movie. It's like, Do you not realize, even though I knew I was tempted, even though I was talking about I was tempted to sell it and flip it and make more money. But I was like, do you not realize how many people want this system right now that have been logging on to Target, logging on to Best Buy, logging on to Walmart, logging on to GameStop, logging on to GameFly, logging on to StockX, logging on to whatever retail outlet they can to get this system. But the universe said, this is for you. This is for you. This is what you wanted, regardless of what the thoughts were behind it. And even though the thoughts were wrong, because the thoughts were it would be backwards compatible with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the original Xbox game. That was wrong. Regardless of the inaccurate thoughts, you still wanted the system. Just like millions of people want this system. Millions of people have been hunting for this system, like they're hunting for PS5s as well. You were fortunate enough to get this system. Don't you think you ought to be thankful for that? And that was my spirit. It was the universe talking to me. And I was like, wow, that was a moment. When I tell you, that was a moment. After watching that and reminding, see, even I need a refresher sometime with positive thinking and the laws of attraction and your thoughts being a magnet and focusing on the good and not the bad. And in that moment when I couldn't play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I was focusing on that one bad thing when there was so much good that happened behind me acquiring this system. And it took a moment for my perception. It took a moment for my thought process to reset and say, are you going to focus on a game that you can't play and that you haven't played in about a year and a half to 2 years? Because that's when my old original Xbox went bad, because I specifically bought an Xbox on Amazon just so I could play that game. I bought one for like $50 or $75. I forgot how much it was. But yeah, just so I could play. And that Xbox went bad. Not the ejector, but the tray wouldn't open, and then it just went bad altogether. And I was just like, I'm not even going to buy another one because it'll probably go bad too. So I haven't played it in about a year and a half, a year, something like that. I was like, you hadn't even played that game in a year to a year and a half. Yeah, that game, when it comes to games, it is fighting games, because I can't say it's the love of my life. When it comes to fighting games, it's the love of my life. Because when it comes to overall games, probably have to be God of War. But for fighting games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the love of my life. But you have an amazing game system. One that doesn't sound like a 787 or 737 or whatever Boeing plane it is, jet engine, when you turn it on. What's the problem? Be thankful. I'm thankful that I got that system. I'm thankful that the universe thought enough of me to say, that's what you want? Okay, cool. I got you. And here it is. Here it is. So that's why I'm telling you, like I told other people before, who are still searching for these game systems, whether it's the Xbox Series X or whether it's the PS5. The universe will deliver. I don't know when, I don't know how. You don't know when and you don't know how, and that's none of your business. It's not any of your business when or how the universe will deliver. But what I can tell you is that if you are putting forth the effort, if you're putting forth the action. Now, I'm not saying, as I mentioned before with the law of attraction, it's possible, but it's rare. Sometimes, yes, you can just not do anything and things will just miraculously happen. But as it's been said before, the last 6 letters in attraction is action. If I wasn't on Best Buy, when I woke up randomly at almost 3 a.m. in the morning, hold on, I gotta get some hand sanitizer because something is in my eyelashes. I have long eyelashes. I get that from my dad. My dad has long eyelashes too. If I would not have woke up at 3 something in the morning and just decided to hop online, decided to take the action, more than likely, I wouldn't have the system. So there has to be action. At the same time, though, you have to believe that when you put something out into the universe, when you ask the universe for something, it will deliver. Then sometimes it may deliver something totally different than what you asked for. Because the universe may say, you know what, you're asking for this, but I know you need this instead. And that happens. However, I'm confident that those who are searching for these systems, they will get them. I'm confident in that. Now or later, they will get them. If you are staying active, if you're checking websites and that system's all you can think about and you just want it because you want to play whatever you want to play, just like now, my thoughts are going to be on the PS5 because God of War comes out next year and PS5, period. So, yeah. But I'm telling you, don't lose hope at it. And even though what we're talking about, as I said before, are first world problems, there are people in countries who don't have water, who don't have food, who don't have solid structures to live under. So this thing that we're talking about, these $500 game systems, you know, we should be thankful to have these type of problems as well. Be thankful to have these type of problems where, man, I can't find someone to give $500 to. I can't find someone to give it to right now. Sony will not take my money. Microsoft will not take my money. I'm trying to give them my money. They won't take it. Be thankful for those type of problems because there are people all over the world who can't even think about that type of stuff. That's on a whole nother level. They're just thinking, how are they going to get food in their stomach? How are they going to handle things when the weather changes? How are they going to get fresh water to their kids? All of that stuff. So, yeah. But I got one. I got one. So thank you, universe. Thank you to everyone who's been listening to the podcast and supporting. Shout out to the listeners on iHeartRadio because you're new to the distribution channel. And if you are listening to this podcast on iHeartRadio, welcome, welcome, welcome. For those who have been listening on the other platforms, whether it's Anchor, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Google Podcasts, whether it's whatever, I thank you. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. KIRWKC on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you are watching this on YouTube or Daily Motion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button followed by notification bell. Love you guys. Until next time, be blessed.